Hello, beautiful people, and welcome back to my channel. I'm very glad you're here, very happy to see you here. Thanks for tuning in. If you're new here, my name is Martin and I do perfume reviews. And if you're interested in such content, then subscribe. I would really appreciate it. So, yes, as you can see by the title, I'm going to talk about a topic that was highly requested. Like, there are many people on this channel that were like, hey, can you do a review where you're talking about layering combinations? Or just in general perfumes and the way you layer them, because I am a big fan of layering fragrances, as you know. And if you don't know now, you know. I just love to layer fragrances. There are a lot of layering combos, but I'm not going to talk about all of them today because there are really a lot of layering combos. And I thought today I'm going to talk about mostly Middle Eastern fragrances and the way I layer them with other Middle Eastern fragrances. But there are also like a few other options and fragrances that are not Middle Eastern. So yes, let's get started. The first layering combo, or let's say the first fragrance I'm going to talk about is Shagaf Oud by Swiss Arabian. It's this one here, and this is really one of my all-time favorites. I feel like I can't stop talking and raving about this fragrance. This is truly a masterpiece. It's very well known in the perfume community, especially if you're into Middle Eastern fragrances, you'll probably know this fragrance. And there are a lot of layering options actually. So let me start with the first one, which is with Majd Al Sultan. So these two together, this one here is from Asdaf. And as far as I know, Asdaf is just a sub brand from Latafa. And this one is from Swiss Arabian. These two go very well together because this is a very smoky and incensey fragrance. It has some sweetness, but I feel like it lacks a little bit of sweetness. So I just like to layer with Shagaf Oud, and it's like an oriental spice bomb. Very beautiful. This one is sweet with the rose, with the saffron and praline. And as I said, this one is smoky. They go very well together, and it's a beast mode explosion. Like these two together, you're going to get around 10 to 12 plus, like really 12 plus hours all day long. You're going to smell yourself, and people are going to smell you, give you compliments. This is definitely like, this is really a compliment gallery. This one is also, but definitely a little underrated. And I remember the first time when I talked about this fragrance, I was like, I've been only wearing it once or twice back then. And now I can't stop wearing this fragrance. Like, I just love this fragrance and to layer with other fragrances. So this is the first layering combination. The next one is with this one here, Ser Al Khulud. And this is also by Latafa. This is a very strawberry dominant fragrance. Very sweet. You have the sugar in here, you have the strawberry in here, and mix this with this one here, with the praline and the rose. It's just a beautiful combination. Very sensual, very seductive, very sweet. And these two go very well together. This is also a very long lasting fragrance. I get definitely 7 to 8 hours, and this one projects a lot. It's a little overwhelming in my opinion, and so is this one here. This is really a strong projecting fragrance. So I would say two sprayers, and two sprayers maybe a little lot, but still it works for me. I just like to fill the room, like fill the room with my scent, with my smell. And if you do two sprayers with this one and two sprayers with this one, it works just perfectly. And it's also the same with Majd Al Sultan, like two, perfect combination. The next one is with Khaltat El Arabiya Royal Blends, another fragrance by Latafa. These two, perfect. I remember when I ordered this fragrance, I fell in love instantly. To me, this is a very oriental fruit bomb. You have, as far as I know, you have the melony here, pineapple, you have a little bit of coconut or strawberry as well. So a lot of fruits. This is also very musky. You have the sandalwood in here, and also amber. This is a very warm, ambery, fruity fragrance. Beautiful, unisex in my opinion. And mixed with this one here, stunning. Like really, I remember the first time when I did the layering combo, I got compliments all the time. Like I saw a lot of friends, every time when they smelled me or like I hugged them, I got compliments. They were like, oh my god, what are you wearing? This smells amazing and also beautiful. This one is not really a beast mode fragrance, but I do get around 6 to 7 hours, which is long lasting enough for me. And mixed with this one here, it's just perfect. So you should definitely give this one a try as well. So what else do we have here? With Amethyst by Latafa. So this is a dupe for Atomic Rose by Anicio. If you mix these two together, you more or less get something that's very similar to Intense Cafe, but more oriental because you have the oud in here, you have the saffron in here. So it's like a more woody and spicy kind of version of intense cafe. And this one here is just a very dense rose fragrance. You have a lot of rose in here, very sensual, not feminine leaning, but I feel like this is more on the feminine side, but still unisex. So if you mix these two together, you don't have to wear most of the fragrances here are actually unisex. But as I said, in my opinion, this one is a little bit more feminine leaning because of the heavy rose note. You have the pink pepper in here. You have the bergamot in here. It is a little fruity in the opening as well. And these two together, very beautiful, very oriental. Also, big compliment getter. And this is a beast fragrance, so it's this one here, and people will smell you all day long and give you compliments. So, another one is also by Latafa, Oud for Glory. This one, in my opinion, is a little bit more masculine leaning, but also still unisex. If you mix these two together, perfect. This is really one of the most long lasting fragrances I have in my collection, and so is this one as well. And in here, you have the oud, you have the lavender, the saffron. Many people say that it's a little similar to Baccarat Rouge 540. I personally don't think so. Maybe like the burnt sugar kind of vibe, the sweetness and the saffron you get in the opening, and that's it. But if you mix these two together, just beautiful because you have the rose in here, as I said, and the praline, and then here you have the oud, and there's also oud in here, so very oud dominant. You're going to get a very not florally oud scent, but definitely a very deep, dense and kind of smoky because you also have the patchouli in here, and this is smoky in my opinion, also very earthy, and I feel like they complement each other a lot. So yes, I think this is actually it. Oh no, there's one last fragrance I would like to suggest you, and this is Sheikh Al Shouh Deluxe Edition by Latafa, and they're pretty similar. I would say around 50 to 60% resemblance. You have patchouli in here as well, but this one is more sweet. As far as I know, there's also the saffron in here, there's caramel in here, and here you have the praline and the oud, and they mix very well together. And it works just very nicely. I mean, if you think that this one here is a little bit too sweet, then I would definitely suggest you to try this one here. This one is a little bit more unisex, or let's say a little bit more masculine leaning, but still unisex. And this one, in my opinion, as I always say, is the perfect unisex cologne fragrance, but it can be a little bit too feminine or too sweet for some guys. So you can definitely try this one here. And if you feel like this one lacks a little bit of the sweetness or just that zest, that special effect, and you can add shag of oud to it, also two sprayers and two sprays, or even three, because this is not as long lasting, or let's say not as strong as this one here, and you're good to go. So that's it actually with Shagaf Oud. What else do we have here? Oh yes, we have Kite by Latafa, and then also again Oud for Glory by Latafa. These two together, perfect. Because you have saffron in here and saffron in here as well. Here you have the oud, here you have the leather. It works very well together. You also have lavender in Kite as far as I know, and also in Oud for Glory. So there are some similar notes, but this one is a little bit more boozy, a little warmer. This one is not. This one is very earthy, kind of dark and dense, and in my opinion, they work together nice. Another layering combo. I have Armov Craze, and I really like this one. This is a dupe for Pegasus by Parfums de Marly. So this is you have the bitter almond in here, you have vanilla in here. It is a little metallic and sharp in the opening, but still very sweet, very creamy and pottery. And to me, it smells very similar to Hypnotic Poison by Dior. And if you mix these two together, they really complement each other a lot. They work very well together. They blend very well together because there are some similarities. And I feel like this one lacks a little bit of, I wouldn't say sweetness, but it's very bitter. And this one is sweeter, like a lot sweeter. And if you layer these two together, it just works perfectly. So if you have Hypnotic Poison by Dior and Armaf, then give this one a try. Like, you can do no wrong. And I think it's a perfect layering combo for fall, like just for the colder days. In summer, I tried this fragrance. I didn't really like it in the summer. I feel like in the heat, it's just very metallic and sharp. But on like in the colder weather, it develops very well and it mixes very well with this one here. What else do we have? We have one of my all-time favorites, which is Cadel Frusan. So this one here, and to me, basically it smells a lot like Hajivat by Nishane or Aventus Creed with a little bit of Baccarat Rouge 540. And I have the extrait version, and I just love this layering combination. This one is not really projecting loud, but it's projecting enough for people to smell you, people to give you compliments. This is really a big compliment getter. Every time when I wore this, especially guys, they complimented me. They were like, "What are you wearing?" And they ended up buying this fragrance because it's very inexpensive. You can get this one for around 20 euro and even less. And with Baccarat Rouge 540, I mean, this one is a very expensive fragrance, but you can use a dupe. For example, Red Temptation is one I love a lot, or maybe Anna Abiet Rouge. I've tried this fragrance. Actually, when I was in Istanbul, there was a store and they were selling a lot of Oriental fragrances. And it smells a lot like Baccarat Rouge 540 in my opinion. So you can layer this one with Cadel Fursan as well. And I think that they just work very well together. So another layering combination I would suggest to you is Rams Latafa. So this is the red version. It's actually gold, but like it's the red bottle with the golden cap with Dahab Safi. So these two together, this is a dupe for Intense Cafe or Monstero's Roses Vanille. And this one here, I don't think is a dupe for anything, but it's very similar to, it's a little similar to Intense Cafe actually, because of the red rose notes. And it's also kind of similar to Xterjov's Herba Pura. And I always say if Xterjov's Herba Pura had like a red version, it would probably smell like this one here. But as far as I know, you have rose in here, and you also have a lot of fruits in here. You have a creamy sandalwood, vanilla, and amber in the dry down, and musk, as far as I know. And they just work perfectly because you have the beautiful sweet rose that's very oriental mixed with this one here. This is really a beast mode fragrance. I get around 8 to 9 hours. This projects a lot, and with this one together, it's going to give you oriental fruit plate with rose. Very beautiful, very just has that Middle Eastern vibe, you know, like Dubai. I feel like this is how Dubai would smell. So very beautiful, big recommendation. And what else do we have here? We have Opulent Musk by Latafa. And I'm actually a big fan of this fragrance. But to me, I feel like it's not very well rounded. There is something missing. I said that I prefer this fragrance more in the air, or the central at least, than on my skin. And to just break it out, or just change it a little bit, or spice it up, I like to layer this fragrance with Baccarat Rouge 540 or Red Temptation, Anabiad Rouge, whatever it is. I feel like you're going to get more Baccarat Rouge, but very musky. And there are gourmand notes in here as well. You have a very zesty opening. You have praline in here as far as I know, or just like overall the gourmand notes. And it works perfectly. Like these two together, very nice. Also, this is a big compliment getter. This is also compliment getter, but not like a people pleaser, and definitely not a safe blind buy. So I would only suggest you this layering combo if you already have this fragrance. Because I mean, if you're ordering this fragrance and you don't like it, then that, I mean, you can try the layering combo, but I would recommend you to try this layering combo, especially if you like Opulent Moss, because this is going to shine through, but the Baccarat Rouge is going to just round it up a little bit more. So we have Montal's Arabian Tonka. And this is not a Middle Eastern brand, but it's an Oriental fragrance. You have the leather in here, you have the saffron in here, you have bergamot in here, you have the sugar in here. So there are a lot of beautiful notes, very well blended. This is a beast mode fragrance, big compliment getter, one of my all-time favorites. It's definitely in my top 5 and perfect for fall and winter and just the colder days. And there are actually a lot of layering combos. One I really like is with Hypnotic Poison by Dior. Works perfect. You have the beautiful creamy almond note, and with the Arabians, Tonka, like they just complement each other a lot, and it's like they're mixing up. It's like a medley and very oriental, but I feel like the leather note or the oud, there, I mean, there's oud in here. It's not really very that strong, but it can be a little overwhelming. And this one here makes it a little bit broader and sweeter and creamier. I feel like this layering combo is really perfect. I also like to layer this fragrance a lot, and this is definitely a really, really good layering combo with Oud for Glory by Lattafa. These two together are just perfect, like really perfect. If you take Oud for Glory and layer it with this fragrance here, it's just amazing. Really works well, especially on the colder days. I feel like this is also a layering combo I would suggest you to try on colder days and only on colder days. I mean, like some people, I personally like to wear this fragrance in the summer as well, but most of the people don't. That's like more of a thing that happens like in the Middle East, maybe in Dubai, like in these countries, they just like very strong fragrances in the summer, like that leaves an amazing scent trail. But people here in Vienna, for example, they're not too used to this type of fragrances, or let's say this type of experiences. And this is really an experience, but I wouldn't suggest you to try this like in the hot weather, more on the colder days. And this combo is perfect for maybe, let's say, a date night or like a special event. I wouldn't like layer these two fragrances together and wear it, for example, at work. I mean, it always depends where you're working, your working environment, but overall, this is more like of a date night layering combo I would suggest you to try. So this is it for now. I think there are a lot of great layering combos you can try. And I would really love to know what layering combos you have because I'm always looking for new layering combos to try out. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, then please hit the like button, comment down below what you're thinking, and I hope to see you guys very soon. Thank you.